there's the sort of the first obvious notion, which is, oh, well, I need to take care of my body so that it's healthy. But I feel like you've gone so far in unpacking all the different sources of energy. And I imagine that was quite a journey.
Actually, I've noticed another phenomenon. I love playing tennis, and I realized that there was a time when there were great tennis players who just burned out. Agassi is one example. He just moved up, boom, burned out, and then somehow they came back. So I started looking at what happened there, and I realized that there was a big movement, the whole professional athletes, that they were realizing a lot of this is a mind game. A lot of this is not solved just with more physical practice, but you also had to look at the holistic self. And the optimization function, which I liked as a CEO or as a business leader, is performance. So it was not this happiness or health or whatever. It was what I needed most and most leaders need. How do you get performance? How do you stay on top? How do you energize people at a time when you theoretically are very tired? How do you do that? So that got me onto this journey. And I looked into tennis and found this gentleman, Jim Lur, who was one of the foundational people, who was at that time working at Bollettieri Tennis Camp and wrote books like Mental Toughness for Tennis. This was what started that journey. And I thought, wow, why is this not better understood? And that got me into this. Then you learn the tricks of the trade. There's a lot of fundamental misbeliefs when you start with time. I always somehow assumed that there's equidistance in the relaxation from how much time you use to exert it to how much time you need to recharge it. Until I realized that's not the case. There are ways how you can recharge very, very quickly. Again, tennis was my learning there, because what you see today, almost all professional tennis players use the time between the serve for a recharge routine. The Tennis Association only allows 20 seconds between two serves, the maximum 20 seconds. Usually they have some movement, squeeze the ball, throw it up, but always the same. And the moment they do that, and it really resets them. And this is another thing that comes from neuro-linguistic programming that I got into then and saw, wow, there are methods there that have been used also by special forces very, very effectively, because we know that mental rehearsal is almost as effective as physical rehearsal. If you have mental routines, you can recharge extremely quickly and get yourself back into a state without getting affected by whatever happened before that, and then perform in that state. That was all part of the journey.